Previously on Automotive Tales. Okay, so, as I said, the Rolls-Royce is out for me to go to a ball, so I am dressed, ready to go. The car is just warming itself through before we go off and put some petrol in, because that's the inevitable thing you always have to do before you go and drive this car, because it can pass nothing, even a petrol station. Proper bow tie. It's not very good, but it's a proper bow tie. Well, you're not going to be able to see very much in this video, but you can probably about make out I'm wearing a high-vis jacket and I am still dressed for my evening out. We have driven over to Burton-on-Trent, had a lovely evening out. I've got almost all the way home and we've got a problem. So I went to put my high beams on and lost all ignition electrics on the Rolls-Royce. You can see I still have electrics because the interior light is on, the headlights still work, the hazards still work. Nothing else functions. Checked all the fuses, checked all the relays, don't really know what's going on. Occasionally the ignition system jumps back into life for maybe 2 seconds, 5 seconds, no more than that, and then cuts out again. So everything is sort of functioning, but there's some intermittent problem, which suggests that maybe something's overheated or something's loose, but I've checked everything and I can't find wiggling all the relays. There's no relay that sort of brings it back to life and then cuts out and just randomly turns on and turns off when the key's in the ignition position. So it is 1 o'clock in the morning on Sunday the 2nd of February, and I have now reported my breakdown to the RAC. So I expect to be home sometime in March. So sit rep on the Rolls-Royce. As you can see, I am at home. I'll explain all in a second. So what happened? I was driving along, just coming out of Castle Donington. I went to put the high beams on and I lost all ignition electrics. Still had headlights, still had hazards, but engine cut out, no ignition, no lights on the dashboard, nothing, radio off, etc, etc. So I was able to coast around the corner. I did actually stop on the road, but eventually somebody stopped to help me and we pushed it off the road into the entrance to what was the F1 museum at Castle Donington, where there's like the big motorbike superstore now. Had a little fiddle with the car, couldn't get the ignition to come back on. It did intermittently come on and then go off again pretty quickly. So I suspect what we've got is some sort of electrical fault. Something maybe it's overheated, I don't know, because it did come on for about 5 or 10 seconds. I managed to get the engine to turn over and then the ignition cut out again. So gremlins. So I've eventually given up. Dr. Nuff came out to save me. We had a good poke around, but still couldn't get it to work. So I called the RAC. They said it's going to be a number of hours. They were very non-committal about how many hours that is. So I've locked the car up, given my details to the security guard that's up there at Castle Donington, and Nuff has brought me home. Bloody saviour. It's going to run me over if I don't move. 1 o'clock in the morning, he came out to pick me up. So I'm now going to get out of my black tie attire into something more comfortable. I'm going to sleep with the phone next to me on loud because they said they will call me when they have sorted the wagon. And as I'm not very far away, I'm going to jump in the Audi and zip on up, make sure they've got the car safe and unlock it and everything for them. And then, yeah, basically they'll follow me back and we're going to put it on the driveway, see if we can figure out what's wrong with it. So there goes my Sunday, because I'm going to probably not get an awful lot of sleep, and then I'm going to have a broken Rolls-Royce to deal with, because that's going to be cheap. Okay, I have jumped back in the Audi. You'll notice I have changed clothes. It's about 2:45. I've had a phone call to say the wagon driver is on the way already. So I am in the Audi, and I am going to go back up to Donington Park to wait for the wagon and hopefully see the Rolls-Royce recovered. But first I need to go to the petrol station, but maybe not for the reason you think. First, a quick stop at my local Esso, not for fuel for the Audi. I'm going to get a box of Heroes because there's a security guard on the gate at Castle Donington who's looking after the car for me. So there's a little thank you for him for looking after the car. So at this point I did record my thoughts to camera, however I'd forgotten because iOS 18, my car was connected to CarPlay, so it recorded nothing. Anyway, time to get out and get the car on the wagon. Quite an undignified way to end the evening. A failure to proceed. Right, we are home, beating the wagon here because, well, I'm driving an estate car and he's driving a 7.5 ton or 12 ton wagon, actually it is. So I've moved some things around in the yard. I've had to move the Le Transit Connect out of the way so that he can come in forward and spin around and then hopefully drop the Rolls-Royce in front of the barn doors. So yeah, now I need to go back out to the road and see if I can find him. So he should only be a few minutes behind me. So we're very nearly finished. It's like 4:45. Then I can now actually go to bed. And then tomorrow morning, I can start to dig into what the bloody hell has happened to the Rolls-Royce. My first failure to proceed in the Rolls-Royce is taking after the Bentley. The Bentley fails to proceed all the blinking time. But the Rolls-Royce has always been my faithful, reliable companion. This is not cool. And it was going to go into Starman's in 2 weeks as well. So maybe it might be going in a bit early, or it's going to sit on the driveway for 2 weeks until such time as it's working properly. Or they might have to come and recover it from here to get it in. And the first job will be to find out why there's no ignition electrics. This is going to be expensive, isn't it? Right, well, no sooner am I home, and look what's here. The Rolls has arrived on the back of the flatbed. I think he's bravely trying to reverse all the way up, which is a bit mad, but I have actually cleared all of the yard of vehicles, so he could come in and turn around, so I best go and see him. It's tight, it's really tight, but it will fit. I'm confident it'll fit. When I say it's a tight fit, I wasn't kidding, it's a tight fit. Thank God we've got a yard to turn around in. Just like that. I can only apologise to my neighbours. I have to say, that was some skilled driving by the RAC guy. That was so incredibly tight, it's unbelievable. Right, it's a bit dark, but you can sort of see what's going on. I don't know why the lights have gone off, I best check that. But she's home at least. And just like that, peace has been restored to my world. You'll notice the Rolls-Royce is sort of dumped in the middle of the driveway, because that's as close as they could realistically get it, and I didn't want it to set off rolling. I think I've used most of the spare brake pressure that's in the system, so it's parked there until the morning, until I get a few hands on it, and then we're going to try and roll it a bit back further over here so we can still get other cars in and out of the driveway, because it may end up being stuck here for a little bit of time. But now I really need to go to bed. It's like 4:15. I am exhausted. Join us next time when we'll try and find out what on earth has happened to the Duchess. Don't forget to like, comment, share and subscribe. Thank you for watching.